Look like the WNBA is starting to feel this boycott.
The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing.
Those are fans saying, I don't want to show up. I don't want to support this. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my money.
This is what the commissioner's doing. While prices just dropped 49%, she's drunk on the...
In less than 48 hours, $3 million simply disappeared from the WNBA All-Star Game economy. All of this occurred as a result of one player becoming hurt. The entire weekend descended into a financial catastrophe that no one could have predicted when Caitlin Clark declared she would not be attending the All-Star Game or the three-point competition in her home stadium of Indianapolis. In a barren market, ticket prices plummeted from $121 to roughly $64, crashing more severely than cryptocurrency. This 48% collapse was terrible and sent shockwaves across the league.
Why are the tickets moving slow? Why is the price dropping nearly 50%?
These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. She's injured. I have no interest in that.
However, this is what no one is discussing. This goes beyond disgruntled fans or less expensive tickets. The WNBA unintentionally revealed the unsettling reality that their whole business strategy is dependent on a single 23-year-old athlete who is currently being decimated by organizational instability. Leave a comment stating Clark crisis if you think the league has just realized they have a serious issue, and let me know whether you think the WNBA can continue to exist without its biggest player. Let's now examine the specifics of this financial collapse and why it validates all of our arguments regarding the Clark effect.
The CC effect was lit, but Jesus, 50% price markdown during an All-Star Game?
For the people who don't believe in the CC effect, my precious CC, y'all ticket sales went from $262 to $121 to $64 to get in at the door. That is horrible.
And they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league, especially to the All-Star.
The figures are honest. You can see how much money was up for grabs when Sports Illustrated revealed that, before to Clark's withdrawal, the average resale price had risen to $262, the highest in WNBA All-Star Game history. Since everyone knew that this would be the largest event in women's basketball history, tickets were selling for over 3 times the typical All-Star Game pricing, and hotels in downtown Indianapolis were charging 2 to 3 times their regular weekend rates. According to Visit Indy, about 70,000 fans would travel to the city for All-Star Weekend, bringing in at least $10 million for the local economy, according to tourist officials. That $3 million instant loss quickly becomes very real when you account for lodging, dining, transportation, retail, parking, and everything else that goes along with a big athletic event. And that only scratches the surface of what this catastrophe exposed about the core structural issues facing the league.
Not just the on-court product that suffers without number 22, Caitlin Clark. The entire weekend's economic opportunities have felt the fallout.
But when it comes to the vendors in the arena, the shops in the arena, they're not going to have the same amount of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was there. The surrounding restaurants, the surrounding areas, the surrounding attractions, they're not going to have the same number of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was healthy.
So we had one industry source tell us that it's hard to believe that Caitlin is not worth close to $1 billion to the league.
With a B?
With a B, that is $1 billion.
Of course, we think jersey sales, we think ticket sales, but Ben, what else? What feeds into that billion with a B?
You know, significant increases in media rights and franchise valuations over the past couple of years. Ticket sales, big one. The opposing arenas, big one. We had someone tell us that, like, Caitlin Clark right now is making opposing owners 7 figures.
Following Clark's statement on July 17th, the secondary market went into a bloodbath, with TickPick exhibiting the most severe price fall in the history of women's sports. Prices on StubHub fell from an average of $126 to $65 in a matter of hours, and identical crashes occurred on SeatGeek for all price points. After displaying high-end chairs priced at $400, Vivid Chairs abruptly had inventory for $51 that no one wanted to touch. These weren't only minor changes brought about by a decline in demand. This whole market panic illustrated how heavily the value of the event depended on the involvement of a single participant. The fall was faster and more severe than it has ever been in NBA All-Star Game history, where price reductions of 18 to 21% are usually the only result of superstars like LeBron James or Curry missing the event. A 48% market meltdown caused by Clark's absence showed that her personal economic effect considerably above that of any similar professional basketball player.
Think an NBA All-Star game ticket is going to drop 50% because LeBron's not playing? No! Do you think an NBA All-Star ticket price is going to drop 50% because Joker's not playing? No! Absolutely not!
LeBron James can be injured, Steph Curry could be injured, Kevin Durant could be in, and the prices still will not drop to be this low.
If you go back in history, nobody has carried that league like her. This only her second year. And she been having this aura since.
This is when things start to get really unpleasant, though. There was more to this than secondary market speculation. The purpose of this was to highlight how reliant on a single player the entire WNBA ecosystem has grown. Clark is responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity, according to economists, which indicates a degree of star dependency unique to professional sports. To put that into perspective, Michael Jordan played during the NBA's heyday of development and international expansion, and at his height, he never accounted for more than 15% of the league's economic activity. Anyone involved in WNBA operations should be alarmed by the fact that one player in a 12-team league can produce more than 25% of all economic value, as this indicates that they have unintentionally developed a business model that is essentially a single point of failure masquerading as a professional sports league.
NBA, pay attention. Pay attention. We saw the viewership drop. Ticket sales dropping. Attendance dropping.
Kathy don't give a damn about no referees. Kathy don't give a damn about no Caitlin Clark. This says it all.
You know, we've had really big women's basketball stars before, and Caitlin just sort of happens to be perfectly timed to take advantage of all of these changing elements of this marketplace, right? You think about in 2021 is when NIL is allowed for college athletes. So that's when the brands get to come into play, right? And that's when ESPN starts airing every single NCAA tournament game. So you can actually watch them play. And we know when you put things on television, people are going to watch.
The entire downtown corridor was getting ready to capitalize on what was expected to be a historic economic opportunity. And eateries like the District Tap were anticipating huge increases in patronage as the Indianapolis business sector prepared for their largest sports weekend in years. With many hotels selling out weeks in advance at premium rates that constituted their greatest income weekend of the year outside of large conventions or NFL playoff games, hotel occupancy rates had reached 95% around the metro region. Retail stores stocked up on WNBA merchandise and Clark-specific things that were anticipated to sell out, and restaurant owners extended their hours, recruited more employees, and purchased more inventory to accommodate the anticipated throngs. As fans began canceling hotel bookings, asking for refunds, and essentially treating the weekend like any other ordinary sporting event that wouldn't justify the premium costs they had been willing to pay just days earlier, they instead witnessed their predictions fall apart in real time.
Why tickets prices dropped? Because people quit buying the damn tickets. People was asking for refunds for the damn tickets. So you want to know what they had to do? Damn near give them away, bro.
People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends.
It is also impossible to overestimate the psychological toll this catastrophe took on the league, as it demonstrated that the WNBA's success is essentially a house of cards based on the popularity of a single player. Business analysts who estimate Clark's total impact to be between $875 million and $1 billion a year are describing a level of personal economic power that makes the collapse of the All-Star Game seem like a warning sign of what might occur if she ever sustains a serious injury or decides she's sick of carrying a whole league on her back. The league's impending CBA talks couldn't have come at a worse moment, since players' union representatives now have hard evidence that maintaining the health and happiness of one player is crucial to their negotiating position. Union representatives will need to admit that Clark creates more economic value than entire clubs when they meet with league executives to talk about revenue sharing, pay caps, and profit allocation, and that results in a negotiation dynamic that has never been encountered by anyone in women's professional sports.